I'm so happy to be back. I love this place. Crowds seem to really engage with the event. I like to have fun with people, which is why I think I've enjoyed coming here for 20 years. So when I went past a group who looked like they were in the mood to have some fun, I would do my spindly arms like that and go, Mzungu power! It would be foolhardy for anyone to think that suddenly this event is going to rival the London Marathon, the Paris Marathon, New York, Boston, Chicago. But it's a different type of race. I mean, you just don't get pre-race atmospheres anywhere, possibly other than maybe Ethiopia on the Great Ethiopian Run, than here. I'm pretty sure I was the second Mzungu to finish. I think where you can start to pull people in from overseas, and where you are doing, is by attracting people to a unique experience, to a unique part of the world, because it is really beautiful here.
Welcome to Destination 256, your go-to destination for all things tourism in Uganda. Today is the 23rd of August, and we are in Kasese for the Tusker Lite Mt Rwenzori Marathon. We've had cheers from crowds, we've had runners both globally and locally. And here with me, I have the British veteran commentator. He's a lover of destination Uganda. He has been here severally, and this is his second time being on this marathon. Rob, you're welcome.
Sante Sana, I'm so happy to be back. I love this place. And do you know what? Amos Wakesa and the rest of his team have done an absolutely incredible job with this event. It's a fabulous showcase, not just for Uganda, but for this corner of Uganda, and a great advert for the mountains that we tried to climb today, albeit rather slowly.
How do you feel, and how does this make you be part of the Uganda's adventure scene?
Well, how do I feel? First of all, tired. I think I came home, I did the 21K. I'm pretty sure I was the second Mzungu to finish. There was a guy, an Australian who's based in America. He was a long way ahead of me. And I had a real battle with this Danish guy who works for the EU. And I managed to beat him just by a couple of seconds. Yeah, silly really. But anyway, you cannot stop being competitive. But I love the course. I love the fact that the crowds seem to really engage with the event. There were lots of people in national dress, singing and waving, and I like to have fun with people, which is why I think I've enjoyed coming here for 20 years. So when I went past a group, before I got too tired, when I went past a group who looked like they were in the mood to have some fun, I would do my spindly arms like that and go, Mzungu power! And the children seem to quite like that. So listen, it's been a great event. I'm looking forward to a beer. And I think I'm going to sleep very well tonight.
In your view, where does this marathon stage globally?
Well, globally it's a tall order because you're only in your fourth edition. But I think where you can start to pull people in from overseas, and where you are doing, is by attracting people to a unique experience, to a unique part of the world, because it is really beautiful here. You know, it would be foolhardy for anyone to think that suddenly this event is going to rival the London Marathon, the Paris Marathon, New York, Boston, Chicago. But it's a different type of race. I mean, you just don't get pre-race atmospheres anywhere, possibly other than maybe Ethiopia on the Great Ethiopian Run, than here. That warm-up guy, I don't know how much you're paying him or how much they're paying him. He's brilliant. I don't know if he's famous here in Uganda. The man's crazy. I love him. So you're able to harness a very, very special atmosphere here to get people to come here. But of course, to try and make this race rival the greatest marathons in the world, that's going to take much, much longer. But it doesn't have to, in order to attract tourists to come from overseas, because the atmosphere really is genuinely unique.
What I get from there is the aspects of the marathon matter also as a booster for its global push, right?
Yeah, there has to be something. There are marathons and half marathons and 10Ks literally all over the world. In order to stand out from the crowd, there has to be something unique about someone's specific event for those overseas to say, I'm going to save up, I'm going to buy an air ticket, I'm going to go there for a week. So I think what Amos Wakesa has done so brilliantly, he's built on the natural geographical surroundings, because that's an appeal. Those mountains are just incredible. You can't stop looking at them. There's so many layers to the hills. But I also think it's the atmosphere and the hospitality of the people. And that goes back to the very reason I fell in love with this country in the first place. When I first came here as a backpacking tourist, before any of my commentary exploits were noticed within Uganda, I've been coming here since '05. And the reason for that is the people. Don't ever underestimate what an important selling point that is for Uganda from a tourism point of view, because I get to travel all over the world with my job. I'm very lucky. And the places I love going back to are not necessarily the most beautiful. The places I go back to are the places with the nicest people. Here, you happen to have both. You've got a beautiful country, but you've got very friendly people. So don't underestimate what a big part of the draw it is that people know. Once they've been here once, they keep coming back because they get it. They understand they're going to be given a great reception, treated really well, and they're going to say hello to people who smile and say hello back.
Now that the dust has settled, how do you rate your involvement in the marathon to Uganda's attractiveness?
All I would say is, when Amos asked me to come and be the event ambassador, I was really humbled, and I said yes, because when I came here in September 23, I in fact flew straight here from the Budapest World Champs, where Joshua had won his gold before he flew back. So I knew what a great event this was, and I knew what an honour it was to be asked to come along and be part of it. I think, listen, I'm not a massively high-profile broadcaster in the UK. I am reasonably well known, and I'm on network television quite regularly with major events, Winter Olympics, Paralympics, Channel 4, snooker on the BBC and ITV. But people do take notice if you're passionate about something and you're not being paid to be passionate about it. So I think, if anyone can take anything from my genuine enthusiasm for the country, then that's great, because they might think, well, he's not being paid to say that, so he must believe what he's saying. So maybe I'll just do a little bit of research into this. They might not get to the point where they book a ticket, but they might think about it this year, investigate it next year, and then come in 27. So, it's about small little steps, and it's about many different people, ideally higher profile than me, saying to the general public, listen, if you've never tried this country, it's unbelievable. Do some research and come and sample it for yourself. So if I've made a difference in that regard, then I'm delighted.
The Tusker Lite Rwenzori Marathon is done. What next? Are we seeing more African events championed by you? Or are we seeing collaborations between you and more African events around the continent?
Well, you need both. I mean, one thing for you to bear in mind is that I am entirely self-employed. I don't have a contract with anyone. So when I come to you, so I only get paid when I work. That's fine. But so therefore, when I come to Uganda, I'm not earning any money. So I would absolutely love to come many more times a year, but I have to be realistic. I have bills to pay. I have to provide for my son and my wife. So I have to think quite carefully about the types of projects that I come to support. Because if I was retired, I'd probably come here 6 months a year. But I'm not in a financial position to do that yet. So I think I have to pick specific events that I will give up my time to come and cover. An event like Rwenzori is perfect because I know, okay, I did the European Under-20 Athletics Championships in Finland. Okay, so there's August's wages taken care of. And I finished there, 5-6 days before coming here. Fine. I give Amos 12 days at the end of August. Great. Then I go home, and then I get ready for Tokyo for the World Championships, where, by the way, I think Pereth Chematai is going to win a medal. I don't know if it's gold, but she's never won a World Championship medal, and I think she will this year. So it's two things. It's me coming to help on specific events when I can put that in my diary, and I know I have to cover my earnings elsewhere around that period. So when I come, I can relax and go, oh, brilliant, I'm here. There are 1 or 2 projects that I'm working on. I had a meeting with the British High Commission, and they're pretty keen on my next idea, which is going to involve me coming here for maybe 2.5 weeks. And I think I'm going to be in a position, once I work out at what point of 2026 I can give you my 2.5 weeks. I can't tell you what that idea is yet because I haven't absolutely signed it off. But if it does come off and it does get the backing of UTB and the British High Commission in terms of publicity, then it'll be a brilliant way of showcasing the landscape of the country, and it will also give you a platform to attract maybe adventure sports fans who can afford to give or spend 2 weeks of their holiday coming over to Uganda. So that's a project that I need to speak to various people about. So it'll be those 2 things. It'll be me coming back for a short period of time to support a specific event, and this is perfect. And it's me gearing up to what I think will be a 2.5 week adventure, and I think it will be at some point in 26.
Oh, actually, that now feeds into my next question that I wanted to ask you. That does experiences like this bring up that like projects like those make you bring up projects?
Well, it gives you food for thought. It gives you food for thought, and I know there's still so much to be done here. And I actually have I don't know what you call it here, but I have an actual document which says that I am an official honorary sports tourism ambassador for Uganda. That's an unpaid role, which is exactly how I want it, for all the reasons I've already spoken about, that when I say something, people know I mean it, and I haven't been paid to say it. But I would imagine that anybody who's paid money to come here and have this race experience will go home and tell everyone they met, oh, wow, it was unbelievable. You should come and do that next year. And I think whilst we're just having this kind of general conversation, one of the biggest things that needs to change is the Western world's continued outdated stereotypes of what African countries and the African continent offers tourists. Some people are very open-minded. They're already coming. What you need is to get the next generation of tourists to this continent, and specifically for you guys, to this country. The hardest thing is to get people to come the first time, because there are still, possibly accidentally, no one's doing it maliciously, there are definitely still mental blocks in some Mzungus about whether they would take a holiday on the African continent, which is like 8 hours straight down, no jet lag, or at twice the expense, you travel 24 hours and go all the way over there to Australia. There's still not enough of those people going, why are we thinking about going over there? Let's go straight down. There's so many countries to choose from, 54, I understand. So that has to change, and that's going to be a very, very slow process. But every single person who comes and experiences a weekend like this that's super well organized, very safe, very hospitable, with a great energy, every single one of those people is helping to sow those seeds back in the UK or Germany or America or or Italy or wherever they've come from. And that's why people like Amos Wakesa are worth their weight in gold to Uganda, because he knows how to lay on a fantastic event. He's obviously a very astute businessman. He's obviously a very good judge of character as well, because the people he has working for him and with him have been entrusted by him to lay on a brilliant event, and that's what they've done. So you need as many of these seeds being sown in the fields of tourism abroad as possible. Not all will germinate, but some will. And that's why events like this are so important, to just very gently start to change people's outdated perceptions, if they have outdated perceptions, and many do. You're not going to win all these battles. You need to win the little ones, and little by little, those little building blocks.
How have they fared after moving around and everything they have seen?
Well, it's been funny with my son. I mean, Becky already had an idea about the continent, but you know, when we came in 13, actually it was our honeymoon. When we came in 13, we went to Kampala, we went to Jinja, was the usual like Mzungu backpacking stuff. We never came as far up as Murchison or coming down here to Kasese. So completely different experience. And also, she can't believe, she said, you're more famous here than you are in your own country. How is that possible? It's kind of crazy. Anyway, so she had a kind of idea what to think and what to expect, but that was 12 years ago. And, you know, she spent 11 of those 12 years raising our sons. So I think she'd probably forgotten just what a cool place it is. But it's quite funny with Arthur because he is aware of how passionate I am and how proud I am, I guess, of my connections to Uganda. So he said to my wife, after the trip had been confirmed, he said, I'm quite nervous about going to Uganda. So my wife said, oh, okay, why? Like different climate, different food, different culture? No, I'm nervous because I know how much Daddy loves it here. And if I don't like it for whatever reason, he's going to be really disappointed in me.
What an amazing work UTB, Uganda Tourism Board, is trying to do to sell Destination Uganda globally. How do you commend their work? And what do you think we can do best to sell more Destination Uganda and to bring in more tourists to come and visit Uganda?
You're in an interesting position now because you've got Juliana having taken over from Madam Lily, who's now moved, I guess, higher up in tourism into a slightly different role, but heavily influential. I think what Madam Lily started was amazing because she was the one who first brought me to Uganda in an elevated profile. Before that, I was just like a backpacker like everyone else. So she fully understands the types of things that will raise questions internationally and the types of things that will make people say, yeah, I definitely want to go there. I know that she's very well regarded and UTB have got a good presence at many tourism functions all over the world. And Juliana, having only met her a couple of times on this trip, she's so pin sharp. That's obviously a huge compliment. She's so clever, comes from a big marketing background, and now she has a chance not to market an individual product that you can taste and touch, but to market an entire country, something she's incredibly passionate and proud about. So I think you're in safe hands going forward. You need to maximize the opportunities at these massive international tourism conferences. There's one in London on the 3rd, 4th, 5th of November, and I've just committed. Sometimes I'm not available because, as I've explained, I need to earn a living. But I'm actually available that week, and I'm giving UTB a day of my time at the conference on Monday, the 3rd of November. So it's perhaps going to be interesting to see what happens there, because then you'll have someone who isn't Ugandan and isn't African standing on a stage, waxing lyrical about what a great country it is to go to, and doing that from a point of view where there's nothing to gain from that financially. So I think if that ends up being quite impactful, you need to replicate that in other countries. You need to find, and there'll be loads of them out there, you need to find someone when you go to one of these conferences in America. Find an American equivalent of me, someone who's passionate about the country, has been here loads, doesn't have anything to gain, because it might be that little added element makes a big difference in terms of persuading other people. Oh, okay, wow, this isn't just Ugandans selling Uganda, this is an international person saying that people need to come here. So I think the work that UTB do is possibly undervalued, only because they're so good at so many different elements that people don't really notice. Because when someone's very good at something, they make a job that's complicated look very easy when it isn't. And there are some really good people at UTB, and it works on every level. The guy, I don't know his surname, but Isaac has been driving us around for the 11 days. He alone is a brilliant advert for Uganda. He's incredibly articulate, he's incredibly polite, he's got a great sense of humor, he's told us about his family. He's interested in learning about us, and because you're sitting with each other for 10, 11, 12 hours in a truck, you know, over the course of a week. So you've got great ambassadors for Uganda, all working for UTB, perhaps in different roles. So I think you're going in the right direction, but I will be interested to see if my presence at this tourism conference early in November, if it happens to make a difference.
Rob, thank you so much for exploring Uganda. Thank you so much for selling Destination Uganda. At least I can attest to this, that the day you stopped posting about Uganda is the day you went off X. And the day you came back on X is the day you started posting about Uganda. I'm loving everything that you're doing for Uganda. Thank you so much.
Wabale.
Mzungu power.
We are here at the Tusker Lite Mt Rwenzori Marathon, bringing you live these conversations and more. Keep it in lock on Destination 256. I'm Zingo Zal, your host.